Hello, everyone. Welcome to Landing America. On today's episode, I invited my friend Aiyma to share her immigration story with us. Welcome, Aiyma.
Thank you so much.
First of all, Aiyma, tell us a little bit about your childhood. Where are you from? How old are you? Where did you grow up?
Thank you, Tatiana, for inviting me to this podcast. Hi, everyone. My name is Aiyma. I'm originally from Kazakhstan, born and raised. I've been living here in the United States for 5 years. I lived in New York and 2 months here in Miami. Still figuring out if I'm gonna stay here or go back to New York. So I work here now as a makeup artist. I have my own business and also I study. Currently I'm taking like break from college and that's why I came here to Miami. I grew up in a full family, mother, father, sister and brother. Yes. Like now I'm trying to be a beauty influencer. I'm also like a beauty blogger.
Let's start from the beginning. When
Mhm.
did you first time think about going to America?
Okay, so by education, my degree, I'm a geologist. I graduated geological college in Kazakhstan, and then I worked 2 years after I graduated. I worked 2 years as a geologist in school. I didn't study English, so I didn't know English at all till I was like 22 years old, I guess. So this idea came up while I was working as a geologist. I seen many opportunities. If I would know English, I could go like all around the world and work as a geologist in different countries. Some of my classmates from college, they knew English and they were working in another countries. I was inspired by that and I just started thinking about like moving to another country to just go to I wanted to learn English first, but then I was like I want to go to native country to have the full experience and I just picked USA.
I would like to ask a little bit about this geologist job. How does one person decide for studying this?
My grandfather was working in a mine. I wanted to be a dancer when I graduated high school, but my parents wouldn't allow me. Like it's not serious. They were kind of religious, and then I didn't know who I want to be. And to be honest, like my father chose this for me. But then while I started working and studying, I fell in love with this job.
And what was the process of getting your student visa? How does it work with Kazakhstan? Is it difficult? What are the requirements?
So in Kazakhstan, by that time, so I came here. Actually, today it's exactly 5 years as
Yay!
I'm here in the USA. Yes,
Congratulations.
anniversary. Yes, and 5 years ago, it was end of 2018. I would say it's not easy process. How I applied for that, I found the agency. They choose a school for me where I want to study English and there's a process. You have to get a I-20 form. Have you heard about that?
No.
I-20 form is like the proof that a school is inviting you. Actually, like anyone can get it. Like any language school here, they can send you that form, I-20, legal document from the school. So they basically invite you to come to their school to study. And also, like, you have to pay for that I-20. And so the agencies, they find the schools, they do all this process and they make appointment for you in embassy. First, you when you apply, like you collect all these documents, and also like in Kazakhstan you have to go in person, you talk to the officer. It's so stressful. Actually, first time I was rejected for the visa. I don't know why, But also there's many aspects they looking at. As I heard, they would say, "Oh, young girl, not married. You have to prove that nothing will make you stay in
Even
USA."
even for student visa?
Yes, for even for students, that's what I heard. You have to prove that you have everything here, what's holding you, have a good job, income, or like some properties, so you will come back to your country.
That is interesting. I know that they are asking for that for different types of visas, but I didn't know it applies to student visa as well. Because if you're a student and you want to study in America, you're going to study for like 5 years maybe.
Mm,
How can you basically have a, I don't know, a family, like a husband or children or properties or businesses if you're
yes.
just a student, you're a
Yeah.
young person, right? So there isn't very much holding you back in your
You're
country, right?
right. Yes, you're right. First time I mentioned my job, by that time I had a decent job, and she was like, "Hi, how are you?" And that time I didn't speak like English at all, and I started because I know they saw the officers, like in, for example, if they in Kazakhstan, right, they have to speak, they're from USA but they know Russian language, so I knew they know Russian language, and I just started speaking in Russian to her, and maybe that also like affected, I don't know. She was like, "Do you have any family or friends in the United States?" I told her like no, and she was like, "I'm sorry, but your visa was disapproved. You can try again." She just gave me my papers and bye. And you can't tell them anything. Like you can't ask that question like why.
So then you reapplied again later.
Yeah, that's the thing. So have to show them like that you've been to other countries. So I haven't been to any other countries. So my passport was empty, and that's why was maybe was a reason, as the agency after told me. And also you were asking how much I paid for the agency, right? Like in all together, I guess I paid maybe 1,000. The agency told me, "We don't suggest you to reapply again. You have to wait at least 2 3 years, go to Europe, like travel, fill out your passport, and then you can apply for USA, because like in USA they usually don't approve people like with empty passport." I was supposed to pay to the agency again money, and I was like, "Nope, I'm not doing this." But I was so disappointed, and also it made me, I wanted it more. Once I got
Mm.
rejected, I was like, I couldn't even sleep. Like it was just in my mind. Nobody knew that I applied. I did it myself. I feel like one of my friends, she knew, and that's it. I didn't tell my parents, nobody. And when I got rejected in 2018 November, and my I-20 was supposed to be expired in February. I just used the same I-20 and I fill out myself the form, even I didn't know how to write in English. I remember I was filling out that form maybe like 50 times. I was like, I swear I didn't know how to like even write. That's why, because once there's a limit of time. So if after 15 or 20 minutes they close out and you start again. And I was sitting down and I'm like,
You were really determined. I like I like your patience. And
oh yes. First time like in my life I was supposed to do like the big change.
why didn't you tell your parents? Wouldn't they approve? What did they think
Uh,
about you going to America once you told them?
that time already, like for 2 years, I lived in another city in Kazakhstan. Once I graduated college, in 2 weeks, I already moved to another city. I've been living by myself, taking care of myself. I had a good job and I was traveling all the time for work. As a geologist, I traveled like every 2 weeks. And the reason why I didn't tell them, if I have something in my mind, I don't want to share it to anyone. I want to do it and then I'll tell them. I wanted to figure it out and then let them know.
I feel you on that. I'm pretty much the same. I told my mom I'm going to America 1 week before
Hmm.
leaving, and
Oh
obviously,
my gosh,
yeah,
really?
oh yeah, I didn't want her to tell me that don't go for too long. Then
Mhm.
she was saying it only for 1 week.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm the same. Like I want to do something, I
Mm.
start doing it, and once it's done,
Mhm.
it's when I share it with other people. It's same with this podcast. I didn't even tell my family yet.
Really?
Yeah, no. My next question for you is, how did your life look like since you arrived
Mhm.
till now when it comes to studying?
When I came here to New York, I I loved it. Since from the first day I came to New York, I was like, this is where I belong. And even now I know, I see that New York is not USA. New York is a different world.
They say the same thing about Miami.
Really?
Yeah, because it's very Hispanic. But of course, New York as well is very dense with a lot of people. It's different different vibe than probably the rest of the United States.
Yeah.
How would you compare your life in New York to your life in
Back home.
Kazakhstan back home? What's the main
Mm,
difference?
so back home, I for the past 2 years before coming to New York, I lived in a pretty big city. It was kind of like busy too, so it was kind of same like lifestyle, but of course here's like it's bigger, everything is like more intense, the lifestyle, the culture is different, so many diversity of people. I loved it like at first, and it was everything new for me. Mentality is different, so people here are more free, friendly. In my country, like people wouldn't say, like if you go and walk in the streets, they wouldn't say you hi, how are you, but still be friendly sometimes.
The same with Slovakia. We don't talk to people we don't know personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, okay, tell us more about your studying.
So first, when I got here, I went to school, New York Center. So it was a very good school actually. A lot of people from around the world. I met a lot of friends. We started like hanging out, and that time I was studying like 5 days in a week. It just was like English. I started like from elementary level, I guess. Per month, I used to pay 700 in 2019.
For 1 month
Yes,
at
for 1 month.
to be at the college
Yes, to study English,
is
just
$700.
700.
Okay.
Yes, and it was kind of expensive for me. And also, when you're on a student visa, you have to constantly go to school. If you miss the 1 day, they would call you. If you miss couple more days, they can even.
It's very strict.
It's strict. Yes, they can close your student visa and deport you if you're not following the rules.
That was the expense for the school, but then you have other expenses as well, right? For your accommodation and living expenses.
Yes, of course. But first, when I just moved, I was renting a room with another girl, and I was paying first month. I was paying 400, 4 or 500. I was young and I was like studying 5 days. I was never home. When I met people, and at first, when I came here, I didn't know anyone. So the only friends were from the school where I was studying, and I like my roommates, girls, they were from my country. I met people from Russian speakers. I wouldn't say from only my country because they were from Russia, from different countries. So Russian speakers. And then I was like asking everyone, how long you been here? Most of people like I met, they didn't speak English, and I was like, how long? Some of them they would be like, oh, I'm here 10 years, and they still don't speak. I was like, no, something is wrong. And I decided for myself, I'm gonna illuminate myself because I came here not to speak in Russian. I could speak back, go back home and speak there. And I was like, okay, my goal is to learn English, and I just illuminated myself from Russian communities. I surrounded myself with people who only speak in English. I was hungry to learn English.
Tell us more about life in New York.
New York, New York is a crazy city now. Actually, like coming here to Miami, right? And I could see the difference a little bit because since I came here, I only lived in New York, and I didn't see the other side, like how you can live the other way. Now I would even describe New York. It's a wild. It's in a good and a bad way. For startup, New York is the best city. Like I'm glad that I came straight to New York because it's like a jungle and you meet a lot of people, and there are so many opportunities when you see like around people what they doing, all that stuff, so you want to keep it up. And also like the life is expensive over there. You can't just like lay down and do nothing because then your bills will come up and you just done, so you can end up out on the street. So you always know that because it's very easy, I guess, in New York, because like everything is expensive. Once you like stop working, what you can do unless you have like backup. I would say there are so many people from different countries who come to New York and who achieved something already, like in their countries, and they wanted something bigger and they come to New York and they do business. Also, I met so many people, millionaires back in home. When they came here, they nobody, they work like just regular jobs, but as long as they have like a business mindset, they still doing something.
What do you do now? How did you start your
Career.
career that you're doing now? Yeah.
Yes, now I'm a makeup artist, hairstylist as well, and beauty blogger. So I always loved like beauty. My girlfriends always be asking me to do their makeup, and it was my passion. But I didn't have even thought being a makeup artist. I remember I was like just like following some makeup artists, was thinking maybe one day I can just do it on the side as a part-time job. But I became a makeup artist here in New York. I started in 2020 when COVID happened. I started doing my makeup, and since then I was like, okay, I'm gonna become a makeup artist.
Everyone I talked to, I
Mhm.
feel like the breaking point was COVID because everyone started doing what they actually want to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right?
Yes, I feel like COVID helped me to open up my potential because at first I didn't know what I want because when I came here, the first year I was studying, right? But then I was like, what? I can't go like all the time work like as a waiter. And I was kind of lost because, and I knew here I can't work because I don't speak English and I need my education, right? And I was kind of that also like lost before 2020 at the end of the year. I was like, who I want to be and what I want to do, and COVID helped.
Let's go back to your family. How do you feel about you being so far away?
I speak to my parents almost every day, and we have group chat. We always send each other like every day we have a conversation. But at first it wasn't like it, I didn't feel it that much. But then now it's been 5 years. I haven't been home, and yes, I would say it's like a sacrifice.